a very long time ago there was balance in the universe. Balance doesn't mean anything per se, but it means balance. The universe was not structured as now, it was structured in galaxies, which we now would call a universe, each one of them representing like a petal of a flower, a particular expression. The galaxy or universe, whatever you want to call it, the name is really irrelevant. You had one that was expression as crystals, one is sound, one is water, one is mathematics. All the facets you now have in them mingled. It was like there was societies now, it was expressions of it. Now, to maintain that balance and interesting thing was necessary, because that was all that was understood. What was understood is that for movement to occur, energy is required, but energy would move as a form of polarity. And that polarity would be done in a curious way by having a single being stand as God, as king, which was fascinatingly enough a particular DNA line of lineage that stood as that. So that means this out of the same king, the same principle that you now have in terms of kings and of tribes and things like that. You have the same principle then. And the very fact that that being stood there, everyone believing that that was the point of balance, the balance existed. So as long as that, in every galaxy, not like that, it was a royal house, so to speak, that maintained the balance of everything. And there were peace, and there were a certain level of equality. And what was honored above all was choice, free will, choice to express yourself, choice of the individuality. And within that, obviously, a fascinating point that was understood then was that one must support each other, so the interconnectedness of everything was supported through the choice. Things would make a choice to support each other through the principle of supporting each other, but there was a specialness about the choice. The specialness was that you could make the choice to support someone. Then a strange thing occurred. A very strange thing. One day, the question was asked, why could everyone not balance themselves? Why is the balance separate from everyone? What is the point? I do not understand. Why do you have an inequality where something like God is required to maintain the balance, in choice? Understand at that stage already beings or people, we would call them man. At that stage it was not you man, it was man. Man existed very much as they do today in a way that they were all coming from planets, from like we come from the dust of the earth. They were, then if they're in a crystal universe or galaxy, they will be crystal-like, and in their form and in their expression and their skills and everything is related to what they are coming from. They would converge in essence from the substance which they are aware they are finding themselves from, call it the planet or that particular galaxy or universe. And their skill would be specific. Obviously at that stage things like sexuality as you understand it today did not exist. It was a point of beings coming together as a mother and a father, that the family construct did exist. That would, in their merging, in their expression of support of each other, would make it possible for a place of support, a place of consideration, a place that you can call it love to exist, for being to emerge into existence. But then again, beings also died, so in a way, the being emerging was someone that's been there before. It's like reincarnation. Very much of the reincarnation was, in effect, a continuation rather than a form of paying for something you've done right or wrong, because right and wrong per se did not exist. What existed was simply balance. There was an understanding that everything in existence actually existed in balance. There was not nature as you would understand it now, because the experience expression was quite absolute from that perspective, as the point of balance was absolute, which means in terms of how it existed, it had an absolute effect on the balanced expression of everyone that was here as the here of them. In the question that emerged on why is everyone not equal, the point was then approached to consider the equality of everyone and change the point of balance. That immediately emerged as quite an interesting point, which was seen as unacceptable. It was seen as an atrocity to what is here, because what is here was apparently the only answer, and it was working from the perspective of everyone participating. What was not understood, obviously, is that the only reason it was working is because of the submission of everyone to the particular system. And in the acceptance of that, obviously, there was the point that there was inequality, there was not the actuality of equality.